What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the all-new 2024 Subaru Impreza RS. I mean, look at this red color. I'm a huge fan of red vehicles, and this pure red here on the Impreza RS looks incredible, especially with all the little black accents you see dotted all the way around, and we'll cover all of that in this video. Now, this is the 6th generation of the Impreza, so this is an entirely new design, tons of new accessories and features, and we'll talk about all of it. And there are a couple things that they removed for 2024. We'll talk about those as well. But let's start up front with this super aggressive front end. Really nice kind of diamond grille here in the front, Subaru badging. Again, you have this pure red color that just shines through all of it, so complementing it with those black accents looks incredible. Now, as far as the headlights go, they're a full automatic steering responsive headlight cluster. They have a nice little 3D accent right here, and then it dives in back towards the center of the grille. And then down below that, you do have LED fog lights as well. Now, under the hood, you have two different engine options. Standard is gonna be a 2.0 liter boxer engine that has 152 horsepower, 145 pound-feet of torque. But here on the RS, you have a larger 2.5 liter boxer engine, 182 horsepower, 178 pound-feet of torque. 33 miles per gallon highway, 26 miles per gallon city. The RS here sits on these 18-inch dark gray alloy wheels. They look absolutely awesome. They have kind of a sparkly element to them, especially in the direct sunlight like this. It looks so nice, especially complemented with that red color. I'm a huge fan. If we move on back, you'll see this really cool RS badging. Above that, you do have these black mirror caps, which I think are a really nice touch, complemented with the red. They have integrated turn signals right here. They are manual folding, but they do have blind spot monitoring built in. Keyless access here on the door handles. You just put your hand inside, it'll unlock, and then you got a little 2 lines right there that you can lock it right up. Sunroof up top, it's just a single pane roof. And you also have crossbar mounting points up here. So if you did want to put some crossbars, some fixed mounting crossbars up here, you could. It doesn't have it here by default though. So now moving here to the back of the Impreza RS, you have a very traditional looking, cross-tracky back end. Nice sloped rear here. Got a little bit of a spoiler here in black, which is a nice contrast to the red roof. Sloped back windshield. It's kind of tinted. It's not super dark, but it is tinted. You got your rear wiper here. Subaru badging, Impreza badging, RS badging. They got absolutely obliterated by bird poop. You got Subaru badging, and then your symmetrical all-wheel drive badging. Little bumper here, and then some nice ground effects. You only have one active exhaust port though. That just is what it is. But check out these taillights. These are straight off of all the, more modern Subaru vehicles we've looked at. First seen on the Outback, but made its way to everything. You have this kind of C shape here. It kind of looks like, the rock sign, these horns here. They wrap all the way around to the side here. Really cool sculpted 3D element to them. I'm a big fan of those. You have a rear camera up underneath, and then you can lift your tailgate here with this button. There is no power liftgate option, as far as I can tell, which puts it in line with the Crosstrek not having one either. Additionally, similar to the Crosstrek here, you have this little bumper guard right here that has a cool little mountain design on it, and then I guess what's supposed to be an Impreza RS, but looks just like a little Crosstrek emblem right there. They just copy and pasted that right over here. You have your all-weather mats in here. You have your all-weather floor liner that says Impreza. And then you even have your cloth mats in here that have red accent stitching and the RS badge on them, which is really cool. Cargo shade right here. You've got some lights. You've got room for cargo net, cargo hooks. Up underneath, you don't have a spare tire, but you do have a tire inflation kit. And you really get a lot of cargo capacity for the size of this vehicle. With the rear seats up, you get 20 cubic feet of cargo space. If you fold those down, you get 56 cubic feet of cargo space, which is plenty for a vehicle this size. Let's go ahead and close her up and hop inside the cabin. All right, so hopping inside this cabin, man, it looks great. It's a pretty traditional looking, kind of modern Subaru cabin. You've got your 11.6-inch infotainment. You've got the updated steering wheel design. You've got the updated button layout, all that kind of good stuff. But let's just go ahead and start from left to right and work our way across. Over on the door panels here, you just have kind of a soft touch rubber material up here, and then some kind of sparkly black plastic here by the door handles, then some fabric here, then a little bit of this leatherette material with some accent stitching in red, which looks nice. You do have your Harman Kardon premium audio system down here on the RS as well. This kind of glossy, it's not even glossy, thankfully, because glossy gets lots of fingerprints. It's a matte texture, but a sparkly looking black accent, or dark gray accent probably more so, runs over here to the dash as well. It runs around the infotainment and then across the glove box over there. I wish they would have put it down here where they put piano black plastic. Not a fan of that. It's not the worst piano black plastic. It's not super glossy to where you see every single fingerprint, but we'll get there in a sec. Right in front of me here, you've got a black leather wrapped steering wheel with some really nice red accent stitching. The same kind of dark gray sparkly accent around the bottom of the steering wheel, and it works its way around either side of the steering wheel as well. You've got all of your media controls on the left side, and then on the right side you have all of your adaptive cruise control options, as well as your lane centering button and your SI drive buttons right here. Your push to start button is in the place that I hate, which is behind the steering wheel, so you can't see it at all, and you have to kind of, you know, do this whole number, whoop, whoop, to actually start the engine there, which is annoying. I'd prefer it be here or here, anywhere but there basically, and Subaru put it there, so that's what we're stuck with. Moving on over to the 11.6-inch infotainment display. This is Subaru's, newest infotainment system that was first released on the Outback back in 2020, and this has everything you'd expect on a modern infotainment system: radio, media, Bluetooth, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, both wireless. You've got your car info, you have your rear view camera, you can control climate in here. One weird omission is you cannot turn on your heated seats from this like you could on previous models. You have two little switches right here for your heated seats, which I definitely don't need those because it is a million degrees. But you can control your climate using these buttons here, or going into the climate control menu and adjusting it on screen. Moving up here, you do have my favorite rear view mirror that isn't a rear view mirror camera, and this is Subaru's, really chunky boy, universal HomeLink garage door, compass, auto dimming, thick rear view mirror. I absolutely love this thing. It's super nice. Of course, you have EyeSight driver assist up top. That is Subaru's award-winning safety system. And then you do have your sunroof controls up top. You can open that up, tilt and slide that. You've got some dome lights as well. And the liner up top is this all black liner. It looks really, really nice. You even have all black, kind of a rough rubbery material on the mirrors here as well, with little lights. Now, if we move on down, you have more of this kind of rubber material as well. And then you've got an aux input. That's interesting. You don't see that very often. You have a 3-amp USB-C port, a 2.4-amp USB-A port, and you have a Qi-enabled wireless charging pad right here for compatible devices. So I'll pop my iPhone 14 on there, and the light turns yellow and it starts charging. Easy as that. Moving on back, you have your shift knob here for your Lineartronic CVT. Again, you can put it in manual mode and then use the paddle shifters here to, simulate having a manual transmission, because unfortunately, they got rid of it. No manual option at all here on the Impreza. Then you do have an electronic parking brake right here, another 12-volt outlet back here, and then under the center console here, you have a nice large storage area, and then kind of a leather material with some red accent stitching as well on top. Now, as far as seating surfaces go, these are a two-tone seat. They're a cloth seat, but they are very, very comfortable. I will give them major props for that. Just like the Crosstrek got redesigned with more comfortable seats after a lot of people complained, myself included, they made a big change, and these are much more sporty and bolstered and comfortable seats. So I'm a big fan of these. The driver is a 10-way power adjustable seat with lumbar support. The passenger seat is just a standard, manually adjustable seat, but they do have heated seats for both driver and passenger. All right, so hopping here into the back seats of the Impreza. First impressions, super comfortable. Man, I'm a really big fan of the upgrades that they made to the seats here in the Crosstrek Impreza, portion of the Subaru lineup. It's really nice. Over here on the door panels, you have more of that kind of gray plastic textured material, and then some hard touch plastic under that. Pretty minimal back here. You do have a little bit of leatherette on the side of the door, but these doors feel a little bit on the flimsy side, but there is some accent stitching, and you do have, window controls right here as well. Decent amount of headroom. There is a little bit of an uptick here on the roof to give you extra headroom in the back. Map pocket on the right side, so on the passenger side. And then a little center console fold out here. Very small, but you do have two distinct cup holders, which is nice. Also, you have a USB-C port and a USB-A port on the back for charging. No rear vents back here though. Really nice looking. Again, super comfortable. Plenty of room for 2 adults. 3 kids for sure could fit back here. It does have the, the transmission runs through the center, so there's the little hump there, but nonetheless, you could put your feet on the other side and be fine if you were a small kid. All right, let's take the Impreza here for a quick spin. I've been driving it around most of the day here filming this video. As you can see, the sun has changed angles quite a bit since I started rolling this video, but I've enjoyed it so far. You know, some of the commentators, I try not to watch too much commentary before I make a review because I want to formulate my own opinions on things, but one thing that people mentioned is that the, you know, horsepower boost that you get out of the extra 30 horsepower doesn't really make too much of a difference. And it's hard for me to compare because I don't have the 2.0 liter, I only have the 2.5 liter here. But from what I've felt so far, having 182 horsepower in a tiny hatchback like this, it's really not that bad. I think it's pretty quick. Again, it has the CVT lag. That's just what you're gonna expect when you don't have a manual option and you're reliant on the Lineartronic CVT. You're going to have that CVT lag. It's just inevitable. But once you get past that little, you know, giddy up or lag, if you wanna call it that, I've really enjoyed driving this thing. It's extremely responsive. You can tell that it borrows heavily from some of the performance features of the WRX. It handles just like, not just like, I shouldn't say that's maybe a little too much credit, but it does drive similarly to a WRX as far as performance goes. It handles very smoothly, it takes corners really well, it's got a nice suspension, rides very smooth, all those kind of things you'd expect. And it's pretty affordable at $32,000 for, you know, a Sport, an RS version with the larger engine, you know, the decals and the extra little touches and features. I think you get a lot for what you are paying for. Obviously, having the infotainment system over here finally brought to the Crosstrek and now to the Impreza. It's trickling its way down the Subaru lineup, and you know, before long it'll just be the standard, especially on higher trim levels. On the lower trims, you still get the little split screen doohickey, which looks ridiculous in my opinion. Just give the full screen standard, but you know, they got to make money where they can. Again, I talked about the push to start button being here. It's a huge complaint of mine. I hate reaching around to do that. It's just, I don't know, just bugs me. But you know what? Other than that, I don't have a ton of complaints. Let's try the lane keeping assist real quick. I was driving and messing with the adaptive cruise control off camera, and it was working really well, especially in stop and go situations where traffic in front of me was slowing down. It slowed me way down. So I was really happy because a lot of the stop and go systems don't work as well, but this one worked great, especially with the lane adjust here. So let's go ahead and turn it on. And then we've got our gap adjust set all the way up. We'll put that all the way down and then go ahead and turn that lane centering on and hit set. So here it's already pulling me over to that side, but it corrected itself and it's doing a pretty good job of keeping me in the center. I'm gonna turn that speed up a little bit. Once we get up here and this Jeep turns out in front of us here, it's probably gonna slow me down once I get close enough to that Jeep. Yep, it's already slowing me down. Not applying any brake pressure, but it sees that car in front of me and slowed me down. Now it's speeding me back up. And it's doing a really good job, I think, of keeping me in the lanes. It detects which lines are visible. So when we went past a driveway where the lines disappeared, the one on the right went away. So it's got good recognition of what's actually going on around me. And it should, because it's got two eyesight cameras right there. But overall, I'm a big fan of the redesign. I think it fits really well in the Subaru lineup now. It just looks like the updated Crosstrek, but small. And I think that's great because the Crosstrek's great. And I think this Impreza will do well, especially with all the technology features, the updated design look, adding some of the safety systems, improving eyesight, all that kind of stuff. It all makes a huge difference, and I think is gonna make this little $32,000 hatchback worth the money. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Drop a like on the video if you loved it. Tell me in the comments down below, what do you think about this new 2024 Subaru Impreza RS? It does kind of show its history and look like a baby Crosstrek. So if you want a lowered 2024 Subaru Crosstrek, go back to the Impreza, as it was the older brother of the Crosstrek back in the day. But let's have a conversation about it down in the comments. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to be among the first to see every single new video the second I hit publish. We'll see you in the next one.